So this congressman, uh, Dana, somebody introduced articles of impeachment against Trump. Let me play this clip.
This is Congressman Shri Thanedar. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling, that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump. The court said the wrongfully deported Kilmer Garcia must be allowed to return and receive due process. Trump ignored it. He ignored the Constitution. He ignored the very checks and balances that keep our democracy intact. This isn't an isolated incident. It's part of a dangerous, deliberate pattern. That's why today I introduced a resolution to impeach Donald J. Trump, outlining 7 articles of impeachment.
The
Article 1,
Constitution, Article 2,
obstruction of justice.
4 permits impeachment for bribery, treason, or committing misdemeanors or felonies in office. That's not a misdemeanor nor a felony, and it certainly doesn't have anything to do with bribery, nor is it treason. The other thing is he's an idiot because the order of the Supreme Court said the president shall facilitate the return of the individual. And what he did is had a meeting with the president of that country. And he said, hey, I can't make him. I'm trying to facilitate it. And the president of the country said, I can't override our justice system, so I can't order him returned. So he facilitated. He had high-level diplomatic meetings. He's in compliance with the law. He's out of there on the front end.
Let me finish playing it.
Justice and abuse of executive power, from denying due process to unlawful deportations. Trump defied court orders. Article 2, taking away Congress's power of the purse. Trump dismantled agencies and froze funds without permission from Congress. Article 3, abuse of trade powers and international aggression. He imposed damaging tariffs and threatened military invasions of our allies. Article 4, violation of First Amendment rights. He has retaliated against journalists, attorneys, and critics for exercising their right to free speech. Article 5, creation of an unlawful office establishing the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, and giving Elon Musk unconstitutional power over our government and personal data. Article 6, bribery and corruption. He has dismissed criminal cases and solicited payments from foreign governments and coerced legal settlements for personal and political gain. Article 7, tyrannical overreach. Finally, and most importantly, he is attempting to consolidate unchecked power and erode the constitutional limits of the presidency. In this country, we have presidents, not kings. That's not just misconduct, it's impeachable misconduct. This isn't leadership, it's tyranny. If we let this stand, we are saying the president is above the law, that the United States Constitution is optional. I won't be silent, and I'm calling on all my colleagues, Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, to stand up with me. Enough is enough. Donald J. Trump must be impeached.
He's so ignorant, he sounds like a goddamn fool. The only one that is even half legit is Article 6 that alleges bribery, and it just uses the words because what he's alleging consists of bribery is not that. There's no such criminal law in the United States that he is could be alleged to have violated. And again, there are only three things: bribery, treason, or felonies or misdemeanors committed in office, and none of them consist of felonies and misdemeanors in office. One of them is something that he's talking about. There's the effect, and he can't generate a specific instance of any payout or solicitation of an actual payout.
I was wondering.
Just pathetic. And the other thing is frankly, that's like an idiot running around talking about somebody needs to go to jail for what? He sounds like Letitia James with her ignorant fool mammy self, and also Fannie Willis with her ignorant fool mammy self too.
So I'm looking him up, and apparently he's a U.S. representative from Michigan, 13th congressional district since 2023. Of course, he's a Democrat. So I thought it was a joke, like somebody said in the chat, an SNL skit, but he's really a congressperson.
Yeah, see, that's the funny thing. The truth of the matter is in a system like ours, you get the quality of representation that you deserve. And if your representatives are crap, that means you're crap. And so you have to understand, when you get Jasmine Crockett or this kind of idiot right here, they get elected by a district. So what's that say about the district? The district has some deficiencies. So you get this. You go to Maxine Waters' district in California, the hypodermic needles all over the ground, homeless people living under cardboard blankets. And she's talking about you need to go home, but they're homeless. You see, you get this kind of idiocy because that's who they select to represent them. See, the problem with our system, one of the problems is that everybody likes their own congressman but hates everybody else's.
Right.
And
Yeah.
when we talk about we need congressional reform, we're talking about the other congressman down the road, not ours, except in some instances. So,
well,
if you got an idiot for a congressman, that means you got idiots for constituents, or too many of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, over the weekend, Sunday actually, these other congressional idiots, they did a sit-in on the Capitol steps where they supposed to be having, I guess, an outdoor town hall on the Capitol steps on Sunday, led by Senator Cory Booker and Democratic House Minority Hakeem Jeffries. And I do have a couple of clips.
Two damn idiots. Two handkerchief head Negroes off the Democratic Party plantation that wish it would go to H.G. Wells so they could get in the time machine and go back to 1840.
So it says, just sat down on the Capitol steps with my good friend, Senator Booker, to have a real conversation about the dangerous situation we confront in America and what we can all do to stop it, right?
Resign!
Exactly. So here's some clips.
We got some power here. Now, we said we were anchoring ourselves in the moral traditions. When we came out here over 10 hours ago, Hakeem and I said this is a bigger moment than politics. This is a moral moment in America, and we were going to sit here for a long time. I didn't know we'd be sitting for 10 hours, but it's 10 hours and we're still going, and we got some great people here. But the moral traditions, we got some power here. Now,
that's one. Here's another one.
We're officially at the 6 o'clock hour. We're officially at the 12 hours that we've been at this. We started walking in your office, got down here a few minutes after 6 o'clock a.m. It is now 6 o'clock p.m.
Now, what would happen if Speaker Johnson declared it an unlawful assembly and tried to clear it, and we had April 25th day instead of a January 6th day? That would be funny.
And then this is another clip.
First of all, my favorite Muslim poet was a man named Muhammad Ali.
Ooh,
and
the greatest.
that great poem, 2 words, me, we.
Woo! Woo!
But it actually reflects an ideal within Islam of the oneness of humanity.
Absolutely.
That there may be different faiths.
Sure.
But there's a oneness in humanity.
Yeah.
What you do to another, you do to me.
That's right.
That's a very big part of the faith, yes?
It is. Even in Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him's last farewell address, he mentioned that.
First of all, my favorite Muslim poet was a man named Muhammad Ali.
Ooh,
and
the greatest.
that great poem, 2 words, me, we.
Woo!
I just think Cory Booker is such a grifter. Like, okay, Muhammad, he was not a famous poet. He was a famous boxer. And just because he said some things and made it rhyme, it's a little bit deeper than that. So I guess this is their conversation to bring the religion of Islam in a positive light, but you're just going by it all wrong.
I think Cory Booker is a little, shall we say, got sweetening in his tank.
Yeah, and this is
That's his business, but come on out the closet. It's the 21st century.
This is the last clip that I'm gonna show for the sit-in, and this is, now it's a Jewish person, I guess, singing about love.
You know the song from the beginning. I will build this world from love. Yada da 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 yada da da. And you must build this world from love. Yada la 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 yada la la. And if we build this world from love, yada da 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 yada da da. Then God will build this world from love. Yada la 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 yada la la. Let's build the country we deserve now.
Hey man, it's all about love, man. Big love, that word, man. Sounds familiar.
But a lot of those politicians on the Democrats are being funded by AIPAC and Zionists. So you're like, free Palestine and we love Islam, which, okay, yes, I'm for free Palestine and Islam is respect the religion, but you're funded by people who are pro-Israel and pro-Zionist. So it's just like, what are we doing here?
And then the ultimate goal is to get boys in sports bras and panties in the girls' restrooms and out there competing in physical sports against the girls, etc. Or getting the children neutered at the school veterinarian's office, so they can be fixed. And etc., 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 etc.
Right, and it's like, it seemed like the Democrats, they're just throwing something on the wall to see, okay, what's going to stick that could possibly work to not just the next presidency in 2028, but the midterms of next year. And people really need to start paying attention, because that's really what they're focusing on, are the midterms.
Yeah, look, Barack Obama, no proposed legislation, no executive orders. Joe Biden, no proposed legislation, no executive orders. They're placeholders. They aren't doing what's necessary to properly lead the country. Their military policies were just complete disasters. That includes cousin Bush. See, Barack's cousin Bush. Mm-hmm. So Barry's cousin Bush, cousin George. So, these folk are just useless. And I put Bush in that category too, because sometimes the party distinctions get to be nebulous because of what they're doing, either alternating between getting the family filthy rich or trying to impose some sick public policy and social order that is just crazy, that's anti-humanity.
Yeah.